In the early days, being politically correct wasn't a huge preoccupation of video games, let alone a lot of media created by primarily Caucasian creators. Diversity in media, especially video games, is still very much a problem, despite more people of color being integrated as protagonists or playable characters in games. So naturally, there's a ton of games out there that helped compile this problem in the first place, portraying different races and cultures in ways that were questionable at best. So today we're counting down the top 10 video games that were unintentionally racist, or at least seemed to be unintentionally racist, or didn't know better. Ignorance isn't bliss, guys. And at number 10 is Scribblenauts. Type in Sambo and a watermelon appears. For those of you who don't know, Sambo is an offensive term used to describe black people who are half Native American. To add insult to injury, watermelons are a commonly known racist trope. Prior to the Jim Crow era, watermelons actually symbolized black self-sufficiency. Many free African Americans grew and sold watermelons. This symbol was then reappropriated by white people as a symbol of uncleanliness and laziness. The developers of the game say that Sambo is an Ecuadorian name for the type of gourd that looks like a watermelon, and the whole situation was just an unfortunate accident. And at number 9 is Call of Juarez, Bound in Blood. Willie Jefferson of the Houston Chronicle is known for causing quite a stir when it comes to his opinions on what he deems to be racially insensitive, especially when it comes to Valve's Left 4 Dead 2, to which Valve responded to the accusations by calling them bizarre and unwarranted. But concerning this game, Call of Juarez, Bound in Blood, which stars a Confederate officer as the protagonist, Jefferson said, "The Confederacy, as far as I'm concerned, wanted to keep their cheap slave labor and the like. I cannot stand the Confederate flag. To me, the flag represents hate. So make of that what you will." Up next, number 8 is CUSTER'S Revenge. CUSTER'S Revenge is one of the most offensive video games of all time. Considered pornographic, although by our standards today, laughable, it featured sexual assault. The game's objective is to sexually assault a Native American woman out of revenge. It's easy to see why it's looked down upon. Atari even sued the developer, Mystique, for damaging their reputation as a company. The game is based off of the actual General Custer, who was ambushed and killed by Native Americans. And as you can imagine, the portrayal of Native Americans in the game is, well, not too great, to say the least. Up next, number 7 is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. The GTA franchise is known for its satirical take on many a topic, sometimes leading to its critics to view it as misogynistic, excessive, and racist. While we won't touch on those first 2 points in this video, that's a can of worms for another day, the race issue has been up for debate for years.
I only listen to white rappers.
I think that's a good idea.
In GTA 5, one of the playable protagonists is Franklin, a young black man, and he is treated differently by the police compared to the 2 white playable characters in the game, Michael and Trevor.
Hey, you keep us safe, alright, officer?
You've crossed the line! Who do you think you are? He's got a weapon.
But the controversy mainly hangs over one particular GTA game, Vice City, which takes place in a 1986 fictionalized Miami and involves a gang war between Haitian and Cuban refugees. This led to criticism for promoting racist hate crimes, and Haitian groups protested the game. Rockstar apologized and removed the offensive statements made in the game, but kept the violence the same, with the reasoning that, well, violence inflicts everybody in that game, regardless of race. Up next, number 6 is Revelations Persona. When Persona was released in America, it was deemed too Japanese by Atlas, the localization team working on the game, so they switched out names for more American ones, along with giving the characters more American aesthetics, which meant changing the character's hair and skin to lighter tones. Except for one, Maseo, who was transformed into a black stereotype. The character in the Japanese version was a graffiti artist and loved dancing, which then somehow translated into making the character in America a stereotypical caricature of a black person. He's an uneducated kid from the streets who talks in slang that feels as if it's how white people think black people talk. So yeah, pretty offensive. Up next, number 5 is Kung Fu Chaos. Kung Fu Chaos is an example of how character names can be racially insensitive and offend players. For example, in the game we have Captain Wong Tong, Candy Roll, Ninja Fu Haya, and Chop. Yeah, ouch. Developers were surprised that people felt the game was racist. They said that they made the game due to their love of kung fu movies, and the game references many of those. Yet they seem to be oblivious to how insensitive using stereotypes as names can be to the Asian community. To worsen things, the game's publisher went on to say that it featured multiple different ethnicities, but including a diverse cast of characters is half the battle. How you represent those characters goes a long way in portraying an accurate display of diversity, and Kung Fu Chaos just dropped the ball on that one. Up next, number 4 is Sid Meier's Civilization 4: Colonization. Civilization 4 got majorly grilled for being a game released in 2008 that focused on colonization. In case you need to brush up on your history a bit, for context, colonialism was a practice that severely hurt many civilizations and cultures. Indigenous people all over the US and Canada are still greatly suffering from it, and its whitewashing practices. A critic named Ben Fritz said of the game that it was offensive, allowing players to do, I quote, horrific things, or whitewash some of the worst events of human history. The idea that 2K Firaxis and Sid Meier himself would make and release a game in the year 2008 that is not only about colonization, but celebrates it by having the player control the people doing the colonizing is truly mind-boggling. So yeah, naturally this stance received a whole lot of backlash itself. What do you guys think? Is Civilization 4 racist? Up next, number 3 is Square's Tom Sawyer. Tom Sawyer is a text that inherently had a lot of issues concerning race. While the novel has been adapted in more recent years in North America to remove some of the derogatory content from its pages, this game didn't really take any of that into consideration. This 1989 Japanese game decided to do the opposite of that, by taking characters like Jim and emphasizing the outdated stereotypes by making him a blackface caricature. Jim is a grotesque caricature, with excessively large lips and a skin tone that practically blends into the game's dark and black backgrounds. So yeah, talk about racially insensitive. Up next, number 2 is BIOSHOCK Infinite. It feels as if BIOSHOCK Infinite had the right intentions. After protagonist Booker DeWitt arrives in Columbia, the patriotic floating city in the sky, the illusion of paradise crumbles almost immediately when you're forced to take part in a lottery, in which you are selected to hurdle a rock at a black woman and a white man who were in a relationship together, and are tied to some stakes on a stage. It makes the player uncomfortable, engaging them in a very rampant, undeniable history of racism in America. But as the game progresses, the message becomes muffled, with the African American Rebellion, or rather the Vox Populi Rebellion, becoming power-hungry and resorting to mass violence, putting them and their leader Daisy Fitzroy in a light that makes them savages rather than people fighting for liberty and freedom. A for effort, but F for execution? And finally at number 1 is Pokemon. How on earth could Pokemon ever be racist? Well, take a look at Pokemon Jinx. Initially based on a fashion style called Yamamba from Japan, Jinx was meant to encapsulate this trend in which Japanese girls dressed up in a way to emulate Hollywood style, typically with blonde hair and fake tans that altogether ditched any realism, which as you can guess makes girls who are dressed up in Yamamba style to look a little bit as if they're wearing blackface. To North American audiences, well, it's just straight up blackface. While Jinx has been recolored in North America to be purple these days, she's still donning blackface in Japan. Alright, there we have it friends. What other games do you think are racist? Enlighten us in those comments below. And if you have any suggestions for other videos you'd like to see, give us a shout about that too. In the meantime, thanks for watching guys, and don't forget to hop on over to our channel and take a look at some other top 10 gaming videos.